Good evening, Professor and class. My name is Chess White, and we are going over sensitivity analysis and risk management in capital budgeting. This is Business 604, Fundamentals of Business Analysis. So our overview, we're going to introduce into sensitivity analysis, qualitative and quantitative steps, incorporating project risk, and sensitivity analysis and capital budgeting. So, introduction to sensitivity analysis. What is it? It is a tool used in the financial industry to analyze and measure how changes in an input variable impact the output of a model. These are known as independent and dependent variables. Someone performing this analysis examines different combinations of variables known as what-ifs and stress tests. This is just one of the methods used to help your company in risk management and contingency planning. In a stress test, this is used for specific independent variables for extreme events, for example, COVID-19. So, why do we use it? We use sensitivity analysis to evaluate the impact of changes in variables such as project cost, cash flows, and discount rates on the net present value or NPV of a project. For example, if the cost of a project increases, the sensitivity analysis can show how this change would or could impact the project's NPV or net present value. Sensitivity analysis is a valuable tool for assessing the risk associated with capital budgeting decisions. This can also be done by using the tornado diagram you see at the bottom right, where you have the worst risk at the top to the least possible risk at the bottom. So, what is the main goal of a sensitivity analysis? It is to help uncover financial vulnerabilities that could possibly have been overlooked, and if the model can survive. So, qualitative steps in a sensitivity analysis. These are the 6 different ones, right? So, in our example, we're going to break down what the 6 different steps are and how we can actually correlate them to a business. So in our example, we own a grapefruit farm, and we are building a model that will predict how many grapefruit will produce that season. So number 1, what is the important part of the model, and explain the possible values. So this is going to be variables such as the ranges of the sunlight that season, the amount of fertilizer and the where the trees are, and the water availability. So number 2, pick the range of values for each important part of the model. This would go into based off of your previous experience, your knowledge, your the previous years of what has happened, regarding the water, the sunlight, the fertilizer. Number 3, pick the method to analyze the data you've compiled, and you can look at one variable or multiple variables. So if you want to just look at one specific thing, the water, or multiple ones, the fertilizer and the sunlight. Number 4, check out the results and see what is the most important part of the model is. Check the results, right? Number 5, understand the results and how they can be used to improve your model. So what's the biggest impact that's going to prevent the most grapefruit being yielded during that season? Is it water? Is it the sunlight? What is it? And number 6, are the results reasonable, and can they be used to improve the model? So what exactly is qualitative analysis means? So it's not measured by numbers, but your experience, your opinions, and your observation. Quantitative steps. Now this is a little different. This is the numbers, right? So with our same model or example of the grapefruit, figure out which part of the model is most important and define the possible values they can take. So with a grapefruit farm, this would be the cost of labor, the materials, and how many grapefruit the average tree produces, right? Number two, pick some possible values that are most important part of the models. This could be the price per grapefruit or the price per pound of grapefruit. Number three, run the model with each set of values and see what happens. So with this, what happens if you increase the grapefruit by 25 cents or 50 cents, right? And this is where using qualitative analysis can come into play with quantitative, because it just makes you have a better informed decision as, the manager or, CEO. Number four, calculate some numbers and tell how much part of the model affects the outcome. So let's say you increased, 50 cents per pound. What is going to be the biggest difference of your net income or gross income? Number five, look at the numbers and see what part of the model have the biggest impact of the outcome. Exactly what it says. And number six, check the results if the results make sense and can you improve it. If you increase it by 10 cents, does it make that big of a difference? So here's another example. You are building a restaurant and you want to use qualitative and quantitative, risk analysis. So qualitative, you would find, let's say, a lumber shortage because of COVID-19, right? And it's going to cause a delay in the restaurant. It's going to put the restaurant over budget. Quantitative analysis, let's say you have a there's a 33% chance of a lumber shortage. The project's going to get delayed for 60 days, and the budget is going to be over by 10%, right? So just another example of the two of what they mean. Quantitative means in terms of numbers. Incorporating project risk into capital budgets analysis. How can project risk be incorporated? Project risk prepares for the uncertainty and potential of the various risks, like unexpected costs, technical difficulties, and market conditions. This is done by adjusting the discount rate used in a net present value calculation. You want to adjust the expected cash flows of the project based on the level of risk involved. This means that the discount rate should be adjusted for higher risk projects and lower for lower risk projects. Incorporating risk into the capital budget analysis mitigates potential risk and helps reduce negative outcomes. This will also lead to understanding the potential returns and risk and create a more informed decision. Sensitivity analysis and risk management in capital budgeting. This is just another tool that can be used in capital budgeting analysis to help manage risk, right? It's all about preventing, managing, hedging your bet. How can you manage the risk? And that's what all these are about. That's what it boils down to. This tool is helped to use to identify the most important factor that could affect the financial outcome of an investment project. Using sensitivity analysis, it helps you identify the most important variables as well as the worst case. This helps project managers make better informed decisions. Going back to our example with the grapefruit farm, right? If you know that there's going to be a drought, how can you prevent that? How can you prepare for that, right? Can you pull water from reservoirs? Can you bring in water? If you know that you do testing and there's a potential of the fertilizer level not being just right, can you bring in experts? What can you do, right? How can you mitigate risk? That's what this is all about. And That's my time. Thank you for watching and have a good rest of your week.